I'm totally gonna listen to this song before I go to bed. The mystery is, are they saying go to sleep? Are they saying go to sleep? Let me see. Go to sleep! I don't know, that just doesn't sound quite right. Can someone find me the lyrics to this song seriously right now? Hey folks, it's Otaku Gunso, and while we take the time to enjoy how gloriously overdressed I am right now, I'm going to take the time to jump right into this video. Because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but I just had no idea of how I was going to frame it. You know, I had to be in the right headspace for it, you know, not spiteful or anything like that. But there's a channel out there for that. And speaking of channels, my pal Riva actually inspired me to make this video. And they had a video up about nostalgic interests of yesteryear, I'm going to say. And I'm going to link to their channel below as well as their alt channel, which is called Mark's Kids, if you love glorified toilet humor. I'll also link to the Spite channel because that guy is cool too. Lastly, all the things that I talk about in this video came from a store called From Japan, or at least I bought them from there, and that was a store that was recommended to me by another friend of mine. So if anything in this video tickles your fancy, definitely check out From Japan, where you can get quality goods from Japan, folks. So yeah, how Visual Kei clawed itself back into my life. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how to start with this. You know, other than it's been a very interesting past year, so to speak. But for anyone who has no idea what I'm talking about, anyone who knows me the last maybe 12 or 13 years ago probably knows that I was really into Visual Kei back then, and it had a very heavy intersection between me being into anime and me being into cosplay. And I was even making clothing based off of this aesthetic, and I was even trying my hand at makeup, which I wasn't very good at it, and I don't own any makeup now. But times were good though. I was into Visual Kei from about 2008 to about 2012, I'm going to say. And yeah, very fond memories that we're going to bask in together, folks. So first up, I'm going to talk about Ichini, or as you see, 12012. No, we're gonna call them Ichini because that's how we get down around here. So yeah, originally in 2007 was when I ended up finding them, and the reason for that was because they were musical guests at a convention I went to called Anime Next, and I was invited to go to Anime Next by a friend of mine, and she gave me the information and whatnot, and I went, but we didn't get to meet up. So she went to the concert and I didn't, and at the time I wasn't really feeling them anyway because they had the open-in for the Romeo and Juliet anime, which I pretty much passed, which, you know, whatever. But I did take the time about a year after that to check out their older stuff, which is why this DVD is from 2006 right now. Because their older stuff is where it's at. Like, their older stuff is good. I don't touch anything of theirs past, like, maybe 2008. But, yeah, their older stuff is good. So, a year after that, I discovered this band. And, oh my gosh, how do I pronounce this? Somebody told me how to pronounce it. Now I just have to remember. Rentrée en Soi. Which, if I screw that up, just let it be known that French is literally the death of me right now. And how funny is it to listen to a band on and off for 13 years and not even know how to pronounce the name of them? But yeah, they were the ones who officially got me into Visual Kei because I found them about 3 months before Anime Next of 2008 when I found out they were the musical guests. And I checked out a lot of their stuff and I liked it and all. But I did not go to the concert because I was in a headspace of, oh, if I'm gonna go to a concert, my first concert, I want it to be someone that I've been listening to for years, which is probably not very accurate considering the fact that I saw Rookies as Punked in 2014 and then Flow in 2015. But anyway, I regretted that decision because about 3 months after Anime Next of 2008, they disbanded. But things did look up because I did get to meet Satsuki in 2012, and there's some nostalgic footage of Anime Next on here because this is their last DVD. So yeah. After that, you know, I just kind of fell down the Visual Kei rabbit hole, first starting off with Aikuru, which at the time, they were kind of my introduction to the more fresh, eccentric, over-the-top aesthetic look of Visual Kei, because they were kind of new at the time, and I really liked them a lot. They were very fun. One of my first original outfits was actually inspired from Emiru's outfit in the Shinzo video, which that was one of my favorite songs from them. And some songs are on here that I like a lot, and then there's songs that I wish that were on here that are not on here. But towards the end, when they disbanded, they kind of had some musical differences and whatnot, and then they kind of ended up going more towards the pop direction, so I was just kind of like, nope. But I did get this DVD because, you know, good times. This is the only DVD they ever released. But anyway, fond memories of them when they were active. Next up is Alice 9, and funny thing about Alice 9, they were the only Japanese music anything that I ever got my dad to like, and getting my parents to like anything Japanese is like pulling teeth, or basically even secular music at this point anyway. But Alice 9, very fond memories of them. This DVD is actually from 2011, and I plan to get more DVDs from them because I actually like Alice 9, and they're actually still active. So go figure that. I follow them on YouTube, and yeah, Alice 9 for the win. Next up is Saudi, which interesting thing about them, I don't know if anyone remembers back in the days of YouTube, the earlier days where you used to only could upload something up to like 15 minutes, so when people would upload their DVDs, they would only upload one song at a time. And back then, you used to be able to watch the whole DVD for Grieving the Dead Soul and Master of Romance from them, just from people doing that. So, yeah, pretty good times with that. This one is, I think, their last DVD, and I plan on getting Deadly Birthday at some point in time. But yeah, Saudi was very good, and very fond memories of them back then as well. Next up is Screw. Oh my gosh. I remember listening to Screw like right before Anime Next of 2009, like right before I got ready to get in the car to go. I listened to Rage and Blood, which is my favorite song from them, to kind of hype myself up and whatnot. And interestingly enough, that song is also on here, which is good. But the way this DVD is kind of cut is really awkward. So I might try to get some more DVDs from them as well. But yeah, Screw, they were good. They were really good. And Rage and Blood for the win, folks, for the win! Next up is On Cafe, and right off the bat, I'm just gonna say that anything from them like post 2009 I didn't even really listen to. So like most of the stuff I listened to from them is pretty much 2009 on downward. But when I found them, I gravitated more towards their older stuff, which is why this DVD is from 2005. And interestingly enough, I actually met Kanon in 2011, which was cool, and he was my favorite one in On Cafe, so that was very cool. I plan to get the one that's from 2007, like the other DVD, so that's pretty fun. On Cafe, love them. Next up is Serial Number, and oh my gosh, Serial Number appealed to two sides of me. The one side was the side that wanted to be a pilot when they were little, and then the other side is trying weird cuisine such as bitter melon, because I literally tried bitter melon because of these guys. And I remember when I first found them, and they had the Attention Please video and everything, and very fun stuff. My favorite song from them was actually Color Style, which is not on this DVD unfortunately, and I'm kind of debating with myself whether or not to get more DVDs from them. But I really did like Serial Number back then. And as you can see with this list so far, a lot of my taste is kind of all over the place. But next up, I'm going to talk about these two together because they were my favorites way back when. Delhi and Antron. And Delhi, I'm just going to say right off the bat, they got me into metal. That's what it is. That's what it's got to be. And I hope to find the reunion DVD at some point because I do not trust CD Japan at this point. But I just hope to find it because the other website doesn't ship out of Japan. But really disappointed when they disbanded. Like, really, that hurt me a lot. And I kind of followed them since they first started. Not like since they first started, but kind of since. And then Untraw, I got into them late, and they were on hiatus, and 2 members left, and then 2 more members had to join, and I used to follow those 2 dudes on a Mayblow. And one of the newer dudes, Madoka, I actually made his jacket, and I wasn't like trying to cosplay him, so to speak. I just wanted to make the jacket, but I couldn't get the neck piece to like stand up like it was supposed to, so that kind of sucks. But I did, it was fun. I sold it just like I sold all of my older outfits, so I don't even have any of them anymore. But yeah, very good fond memories of Untraw. Very disappointed when they disbanded. Next up, and I'm gonna talk about these 2 bands together, Death Gaze and Nega. And the reason why I'm going to talk about them together is because whenever I would listen to the 2 of them, it would always psych my brother out. And every single time he used to come and barge in my room and stuff like that, and I just put one of their songs in, and it would just psych him out. And I think the reason why is probably the way that they scream, which Gene X Nega, I should be. Yeah, Gene X Nega, he had a very shrill kind of a scream. And I would say with that, they don't call him the vomiter for no reason. And then Death Gaze, or I from Death Gaze, or ex-Death Gaze rather, he had a very growly type of scream, which I don't know if that was what he was going for, but he smokes a lot, so there you go. But very fond memories of the 2 of them. Okay, let's not drop anything. Next up is Oz, and oh my gosh, before I get into talking about Oz, who remembers trying to scream to Zenith like way back when? And that was like the first song that I heard from them too, but who remembers trying to scream to that one? I mean, I could definitely scream to them now, but back then, not so much. But like, they always had good stuff. I don't remember ever hearing a bad song from them. Very disappointing when they did disband, and they went to the anime convention in Texas, which I didn't get to go to, so that was very unfortunate. But very fond memories of them, and I hope to get the other DVD, the Third Dimension one. This one's only a Fact of Life. I hope to get Fact of Life Third Dimension next time. And lastly, these two I'm just going to talk about together. Oh gosh, because the timing in which I got into them, really bad. Because at that point, all the favorites were kind of dropping like flies, and I was under the impression that just about everything I like has to die. So I made Distance because I didn't want them to disband. And to prove that point even more so, the only 3 out of all of those that I just listed who are still active, Montenegro Opera, D, and Alice 9. There you go. Funny thing about the 2 of them, because I actually have, let me say, I have 5 DVDs from Montenegro Opera, I have 7 DVDs from D, and the 2 of them just really know how to put on a good show and whatnot. And then the other thing I like too is these booklets. Oh my gosh, we gotta talk about these booklets. Because like every single time you always get like these little booklets that come with it, and I always like to look at the little booklets too. Of all the pictures right now. But yeah, I love how I love like the little booklets and stuff. Oh, this one has a booklet too, like, see that? Yeah, I love the booklets though, like, really do. Okay, I'm not gonna torture everyone else with the booklets, but yeah, it's the timing really bad to get into them. And funny thing, before I end all this actually, is this DVD I actually tried to get 3 times, and on the 3rd time I actually got it. The first time I tried to get it at CD Japan, and that's the reason why I don't trust them right now, because they apparently didn't have it and then they just never told me. So then I had that credit that I had to pay off and everything for like a month, and then still never even got it. And then the second time it just wasn't available and wasn't updated at From Japan, and then on the third time I got it for a better deal. So I'm pretty happy with that. And this one, I like the outfits that they have because they have like a fairy elf look. So I like that a lot. But anyway, I guess that's all from me. Until next time. Alright, folks? Okay. Later.